Courage to be yourself in a world that wants you to be a sheep. To ignore people is not an act of anger. In Osho's vision, it is an act of supreme meditation. Here is a speech-style reflection written in his spirit and signature prose. The art of being a lion in a world of sheep. My beloved ones, the greatest fear in the world is of the opinions of others. And the moment you are unafraid of the crowd, you are no longer a sheep, you become a lion. A great roar arises in your heart, the roar of freedom. The prison of, they say. Since your childhood, you have been told to look at others. What will people think? This is the most poisonous sentence in human history. It has murdered more souls than all the wars combined. You are constantly looking in the eyes of others to see your own reflection. But others are just as lost as you. They are blind, and you are asking the blind for a map of your soul. To ignore people is not to be rude. It is simply to realize that their opinion of you is none of your business. If they call you a saint, it is their opinion. If they call you a sinner, it is their opinion. It has nothing to do with the reality of who you are. The crowd is a graveyard. The crowd loves the mediocre. The crowd loves those who fit in, who follow the rules, who walk the beaten path. But the path is always old, the truth is always new. When you start to grow, when you start to bloom, the crowd will be angry. They will try to pull you back. They will use guilt, they will use morality, they will use tradition. Ignore them, not out of hatred, for hatred is still a connection, but out of indifference. Indifference is the highest form of rebellion. To be so centered in your own being that the noise of the marketplace does not reach your heart. Find your own light. Your life is a solo flight. You come alone, you go alone. Between these 2 points, why live a life dictated by people who will not be there at the end? If you are happy, they will be jealous. If you are sad, they will feel superior. You can never satisfy them. So, the only way to live is to satisfy your own inner God. Listen to your own heart. Follow your own intuition. If the whole world says you are wrong, but your heart says you are right, go with the heart. You may stumble, you may fall, but those wounds will be yours, and those lessons will be your wisdom. Why silence is your best defense. When people criticize you, they are simply throwing their own inner garbage at you. If you get angry, you have accepted the gift. If you remain silent, if you simply smile and move on, they have to keep their garbage. Be like the lotus. It lives in the mud, but the mud never touches the flower. The world is the mud, your consciousness is the lotus. Do not try to convince anyone. Do not try to explain yourself. An explanation is a sign of a weak mind. A man of Tao, a man of Zen, simply walks his path. If people follow, good. If they throw stones, good. The sun does not wait for people to approve of its light. It simply shines. Be a light unto yourself. From loneliness to aloneness, the journey to your true self. My beloved ones, the most fundamental confusion in human consciousness is between 2 words, loneliness and aloneness. They may sound similar in a dictionary, but in the geography of the soul, they are 2 different poles. 1. Loneliness is a wound. Loneliness is a state of poverty. It is a feeling that the other is missing. You feel incomplete, empty, and hollow because there is no one to hold your hand, no one to look into your eyes. You run into relationships, you hide in crowds, you cling to your phone, not because you love people, but because you are terrified of yourself. You are running away from your own shadow. This is why even in a marriage, even in a party, you can feel lonely. Loneliness is a beggar's state. You are constantly asking for someone to fill your void. 2. Aloneness is a flower. Aloneness is totally different. It is a state of being, all one. It is a peak of health. It is the realization that you are sufficient unto yourself. When you are missing the other, it is loneliness. When you are enjoying yourself, it is aloneness. An alone person is a king or a queen. They don't need anyone to complete them. If someone comes into their life, they share their joy. If no one comes, they are still overflowing with joy. Their happiness is no longer a hostage to someone else's presence or absence. 3. Only an alone person can love. This is Osho's most radical insight. If you cannot be happy alone, you cannot be happy in love. If you are lonely and you enter a relationship, you will be a parasite. You will suck the life out of the other person because you are dependent on them for your happiness. This is not love, this is a contract of mutual slavery. Only when you are blissful in your aloneness can you truly love. Then, love is not a need, it is a sharing. You have so much light that you want to share it with someone else. Two whole beings meeting creates a celebration, two half beings meeting creates a mess. 4. How to reach this state. You don't need to go to the Himalayas to find aloneness. You only need to learn the art of sitting silently. Watch the mind, treat your thoughts like clouds passing in the sky. Do not fight them, do not follow them. Just watch the gap. Slowly, you will notice a gap between the thought and the watcher. In that gap lies your aloneness. Befriend yourself. Stop treating yourself as a stranger. The person you have ignored the most in your life is you. The final roar. The crowd gives you a mask, but aloneness gives you your original face. Don't be afraid of the silence that comes when you are alone. In that silence, the divine speaks. In that stillness, you finally come home. Live in the world, but do not let the world live in you. Be a part of the crowd, but internally, remain a solitary peak.